Hello and welcome. I'm Traci and I will be guiding you through your practice today. We'll be working on poses that challenge our balance and help us to find also the balance between effort and ease. Because at the core of yoga, the only real pose is the one I'm in, a comfortable seat. So I invite you now to come to a comfortable seat as well. Grady is also joining us today. And you may wish to have a few props with you. If you have a couple of blocks, maybe a bolster or a towel rolled up. I'm sitting on a blanket. If you don't have blocks, you can also just use a couple of books because they can help us when we're working on balance. And if you need it, you can also come to a wall or a chair to help when we enter into our standing poses. So let's just begin by pulling up tall through the spine, taking a nice deep inhale, inflating the belly as if we're inflating a balloon, and then exhale through the mouth. Let's do that again. Inhaling deeply. And exhaling completely. And now sealing off your lips. Continuing to breathe normally, noticing your breath as you inhale and exhale through the nose. Maybe see if you can match the length of your inhales to your exhales as we begin to concentrate on finding balance between effort and ease. And as you move through your practice today, I encourage you to keep that at the forefront of your mind along with your breath. And when you find yourself in a pose that feels challenging, is there anywhere that you can soften? If you feel yourself gripping with your fingers or your toes, can you maybe soften the muscles in your face? And when you find yourself in those moments of ease, can you let go and surrender to them? If your thoughts are whirring, can you notice them and come back to your breath? Begin to flutter your eyes open if they're not open already. And if you have a blanket or a block underneath your seat, just move it off to the side. And we'll come into a tabletop position. Toes can be tucked or untucked, just stacking hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. And we'll take a few rounds of cat and cow here. So as we inhale, sending the tailbone high as we draw our chest forward, gazing up. And then as we exhale, tucking our tailbone, rounding our spine, and pulling our chin into our chest. Inhaling to send the tailbone high, chest forward. Exhale to tuck and round. And take about 6 more on your breath. Moving slowly, deliberately. Really articulating the spine. About 3 more. Last time. exhale, come back to neutral. And begin to just shift weight into your left hand, maybe pulling up through the shoulder. And take your right hand and just tuck it behind your head. And on an inhale, just open up, pulling that right shoulder back. And then as you exhale, drawing your right elbow to your left. Inhaling to reach up high. And then exhaling as we twist. Last time, inhale to open and exhale to twist. Beautiful. And then on an exhale, just set that hand down, root into your right palm, and just begin to swivel your right foot off to the side as you shift, coming over into a side plank, maybe taking your left hand and placing it on your hip. You can gaze down at your right palm, or you can gaze up towards the sky. Pardon my back to you at the moment. And from here, if you like, just test your balance, see if you can lift that top leg, your left leg, off the floor, off your mat. And if it feels good, maybe you extend your left arm overhead, reaching through the fingertips. If that doesn't feel good, you can also put your hand behind your head. Take one more inhale here, and then as you exhale, return to your tabletop position. Rooting down through the right palm this time, and pulling up out of that right shoulder. Take your left hand, place it behind your head, and as you inhale, reach your elbow towards the ceiling or the sky. And as you exhale, come into this modified version of thread the needle, drawing your left elbow to your right. Inhaling to open up, and then exhaling to reach through. Last time, inhaling to open, exhale, reach through, just a nice gentle twist. And then inhale to open one last time before you exhale, placing that left hand down, shifting weight into the left hand, swiveling your left foot off to the left side of your mat, and then kind of rolling over onto your side, coming into your modified side plank. You can leave your foot down on the mat and focus on just peeling that right shoulder back. Maybe you gaze up, or you can look down at your hand if that feels better. And then if you'd like to test your balance further, just see if you can float that top leg off the mat, keeping the foot flexed. If you're here, maybe you bring your fingertips behind your head, gazing up, or perhaps, if it's available to you, extending your right arm overhead, really reaching through the fingertips. On your next exhale, come back to your tabletop, and we'll set up for bird dog. So begin, again, by just distributing your weight evenly into your hands. And on an inhale, extend, lift and extend. Your right leg behind you, foot is flexed, hugging everything towards the midline of your body. And you can stay right here. Or, if you like, begin to shift weight into your right hand as you extend your left arm forward, thumb facing up. No wrong answers here. If you're feeling a bit wobbly, you can always bring your left hand back to the earth. But if you're here on an inhale, just exhale and draw your elbow to your knee. If your hand is lowered, simply draw your knee into your chest like this. And then as you inhale, extend. Exhale as you draw your elbow to your knee. Inhale, extend. One more time. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. And exhale, lower that left hand down, leaving your right leg lifted. And on an exhale, see if you can sweep it out to the side, trying to keep your weight evenly distributed. And if you're feeling froggy, go ahead and inhale and extend your left arm out to the side. Take a cycle of breath here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, sweep your left arm forward, right leg back, and then exhale as you bring everything out to the side. Again, always have the option to lower that hand. Inhale, extend, and exhale out to the side. Inhale, extend, and exhale, and back to your tabletop. Taking a few cat-cows here, just to reset, coming back to your breath. Next inhale, return to a neutral tabletop. And this time, beginning to root down through the left palm. And on an inhale, extending your left leg behind you, hugging your thighs together. And you can stay right here, or you can extend your right arm long, whatever you choose, and it can be different on each side. Taking an inhale, and then as you exhale, either drawing your elbow to your knee or simply pulling your knee into your chest, depending on where you are. I'll do it that way for demonstration. And then inhale to extend. Exhale, elbow to knee to chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale to extend. And then as you exhale, sweeping your left leg out to the side, keeping the foot flexed, and trying to distribute your weight evenly, or rooting down through the left hand as you extend your right arm out to the side. And then inhale as we come straight. Exhale, out to the side. Helps to pick a point that's not moving, always helps with balance. Last time, exhale. Inhale to extend. And then as you exhale, coming back to your tabletop, maybe taking a few cats and cows, or you can take some barrel rolls if that feels better. Exhaling as you circle left, and then inhaling right. Exhaling as you round your spine. Inhaling as you drop your belly. And then just switch directions. Remember, it's all about evening ourselves out. That's part of balance too. And then go ahead and just walk your hands about a palm print in front of you. Tuck your toes, and as you exhale, just press back into a squat as you cover your knees, and then straighten your legs, sending your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. You can always stay in tabletop if that feels better. Maybe pedal out your feet here. Maybe sway your hips from side to side. Trying to stretch the mat out longer in front of you as you gaze either up towards your navel or between your feet or your knees. And then on an inhale, look between your hands as you come all the way up on your toes. And as you exhale, just begin to take little baby steps to the top of your mat to hang in a forward fold. And if it's more comfortable for you here, you can always grab blocks. You can let your arms dangle. You can grab opposite elbows. Keep a generous bend in your knees here. Maybe bending one knee and then the other to sway your hips. Shaking your head yes. Shaking your head no. And then very slowly, just begin to unfurl one vertebra at a time, coming all the way up to standing, to come to Tadasana. And I'm just adjusting my screen here so you can see a little bit better. Apologies if I'm cut off a little bit. I think I might be a little bit decapitated, but we'll do our best. So when you get there, your feet wherever it's comfortable for you. Take a nice deep inhale as you shrug your shoulders up to your ears, and as you exhale, just draw them back and down, palms facing forward. And maybe you lift up all 10 toes and then place them back down on the mat one at a time, really grounding down through your heel pads and your big and little toe mounds, pulling up slightly on your kneecaps to engage the quadriceps, chin parallel to the floor, just stacking everything, shoulders over hips, hips over ankles, to stand in Tadasana. Taking a few breaths here. And then on an inhale, just bringing your hands to heart center to stand in Anjali Mudra. And as you exhale, sitting back into chair pose. And I'll turn this way so you can see. So you can have your big toes together with your heels apart. Feet can be parallel, feet can be together. Just whatever is most comfortable for you. Just make sure that your knees are in line with one another and that you can see your big toes. You can keep your hands at heart center. You can raise them to shoulder height, palms facing one another, or overhead if that's available to you. Taking an inhale here, and as you exhale, maybe sitting a little bit deeper. And then begin to shift weight into your right foot. Just start to hover your left, bending that knee. Maybe your toes are just a little bit off the floor at this point. As you exhale, bring your hands to heart center, and as you inhale, begin to straighten that right leg, keeping your left knee bent, drawing it into your chest. Probably gripping on with your toes. Can you relax here? Maybe softening your facial muscles, gently sending your shoulders down your back. If you'd like a little more, you can reach down for your big toe with your peace fingers of your left hand and extend your left foot out in front of you. Again, it helps to just pick something that's not moving and focus your drishti, your gaze on that. And then wherever you are, whether your knee is bent or your leg is straight, on your exhale, extend that left leg out to the side, right arm out to the right side. It's okay to wobble, turbulence is fine. If you fall out, just come back. And then inhale as you come back to center. Release your hold if you have it. Rebend that knee. And just use your left hand to help guide your foot, preparing for tree pose. So I'll stand this way so you can see. So it's up to you where you would like to put your foot. You can tuck it up into your inner thigh, or you can place it on your calf, or you can simply create a kickstand, whatever is most comfortable for you. Bringing your hands to heart center. Just avoid the knee joint. That's just the most important thing. We don't want to damage our knees. Just taking a few breaths here. If you like, you can raise your arms to whatever height is comfortable for you. Maybe overhead. You can challenge your balance a little bit more by gazing up, or maybe swaying your branches in the breeze. And then on an exhale, bringing your hands back to heart center. And release your foot from your thigh, drawing your knee back into your chest. And then as you exhale, just begin to bend forward from the hips, sending your left leg behind you. Maybe you keep your toes on the floor. Maybe you tuck your left knee behind your right, coming into a Shiva squat. Now you have options here as well. You can bring your hands to blocks or the floor, staying on tented fingertips. On an inhale, extend your left leg behind you. And then exhale as you return to your Shiva squat. Inhaling to extend. See if you can lift that back leg just a little bit higher this time. Wherever you are, you might be down here and that's fine. And then exhale for your squat. Inhaling to extend. This time, leaving, just gonna come around here. Leaving your left leg lifted. Maybe you bring your hands to prayer as you come into Warrior 3, hugging everything towards the midline. You can sweep your arms behind you, creating airplane wings. And then on your next exhale, just extending, you can come to a block or you can bring your fingertips to the floor, lowering your right hand to the earth in front of your foot and opening up your hips to the left side of your mat as you raise your right arm high, or just keep it on your hip, that's fine too. Coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Now our hips are open to the left side of our mat. You can also bring your fingertips behind your head or extend them. Everything in one line. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, bending that front knee, sending your left foot down so it's parallel to the back of your mat, coming into Warrior Two. I'm off my mat here, I'm slipping a little bit. Right knee is in line with or behind your ankle and tracking over your second or third toe. And send the weight in your left leg down to the pinky toe edge of your foot. And imagine you're trying to rip your mat apart with your feet. Gaze over your right middle finger. Think about shining a light from your belly button to the wall opposite you. And then on your next inhale, just go ahead and straighten that front leg. Preparing for Trikonasana, triangle. And as you inhale, just begin to reach forward, hinging at the hip. Reach, 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 reach. You can always have your left hand on your hip if that feels better. When you can't reach anymore, just pivot down. Your right hand can land on your shin, your ankle. It can come up to your thigh. You can bring it to a block, whatever feels best for you. But focusing on opening up that left shoulder, either gazing up or down at your right foot. Take one more cycle of breath here. And then as you exhale, just bringing both hands to the floor and stepping your left foot in to meet your right. Inhaling to a flat back. Exhaling to fold forward. Just taking a moment to reset here. You've challenged your muscles and your balance. Can you come back to your breath? Can you soften anywhere? On your next inhale, preparing for Utkatasana chair pose. Bending your knees, sweeping your arms up to whatever height is comfortable for you. Again, just checking to make sure that you can see your toes, that your knees are in line. And think about kind of pressing out through your hips. That will protect your knees. Taking another cycle of breath here. And then shifting weight into, as you bring your hands to heart center on an exhale, shifting your weight into your left foot, just beginning to hover the right this time. And on your inhale, coming up to standing, drawing your knee into your chest, pulling up tall through the spine. You may be gripping with your toes. Can you relax your shoulders? Again, finding that balance between strength and softness. And then option to extend your leg here or keep it bent, maybe just holding on just below the knee with your right hand. Left hand can come to your hip or you can extend it out to the side. As you exhale and open up here. If you'd like to challenge your balance a little bit more, try looking over towards your left thumb. Next, inhale, come back to center. Preparing for tree pose. Again, placing your foot wherever is most comfortable for you. I'll do a different variation this time. Turn to face you. Maybe you raise your arms overhead, sway in the breeze. Each side can be different. I tend to balance better in my left foot. Even though I'm right-handed, I don't really know why. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, bringing your hands back to heart center. Drawing your knee back into your chest. And then on an exhale, beginning to fold forward from the hips. Again, option to take your blocks here. Inhaling to extend. Your right leg long behind your foot is flexed. And then as you exhale, coming to your Shiva squat, tucking your right knee behind your left as you bend your left knee. Inhaling to extend. Exhale, Shiva squat. Inhaling to extend. Maybe you try to bring your hands to heart center. Oops. Exhale, squat. Inhaling to extend. This time, staying in Warrior 3. Hands can be at heart center. Maybe you come back to those airplane wings, or maybe you bring your arms forward to frame your ears. And again, if there's turbulence, it's okay. Hugging everything towards the midline of your body. Taking one more inhale here. And then on your exhale, lowering your left hand down, either to blocks or the floor, and opening up to Ardha Chandrasana, facing the right side of your mat. So now we're really focusing on opening up our hips to the right side of our mat. You can always bring your right hand to your hip, really focusing on opening that shoulder as well, that top shoulder. Maybe you get a little light on your fingertips. Maybe you hover them off the floor. And then on your exhale, bending into that left knee, coming back to Warrior 2. Mat here. Sending your left knee out towards the second or third toe, stretching your mat in opposite directions with your feet as you send weight in your right leg this time, down towards the pinky toe edge of your foot. Take a nice big inhale, shrug your shoulders up to your ears, and then as you exhale, draw them back and down, perhaps keeping a little micro bend in your elbows just to keep your shoulders soft. And then on your next inhale, straightening that front leg. You can also always shorten your stance, preparing for Trikonasana. And go ahead and just place your right hand on your hip. And then as you inhale, hinging at the hips. So we're moving just from our hips, reaching through the fingertips, reach, 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 reach. And when you can't reach anymore, sending that left hand down. Can always come to a block. That feels better. We don't want to dump in, but just for a little bit of stability, kind of rotating our thighs towards one another, pulling that right shoulder back as we gaze up. If it feels good, raising the right arm high, thumb tracking over our nose, or you can bring it behind your head. Choose the variation that works best for you. Taking one more inhale here, and then as you exhale, cartwheeling the hands down to the floor, framing that left foot, and then just step back to downward facing dog. Or tabletop, if that feels better. Yogi's choice. Tabletop's always a good option. Coming back to your breath. Taking 2 more cycles of breath here. And if you're not already in tabletop, come to your hands and knees from downward facing dog. And then just sit off to one side. Swing your legs around. We'll prepare for a seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. And sometimes it's helpful to sit on a blanket as we do this. And so we'll start with staff pose, just taking an inhale, pressing down through our hands as we pull up tall through our spine. Remembering to breathe. And then as you exhale, just beginning to walk the hands forward to whatever degree is comfortable for you. Maybe your forearms rest by your knees or shins. Maybe you grab onto the backs of your feet. Just inhaling as we draw our chest forward, and then exhaling to see if we can settle into the shape. On your next inhale, begin to walk yourself back up to a seated position. I'm just going to adjust the screen a little bit here. That's a little better. Yeah, okay. And if you have a blanket under your bum, just remove it. And you may want to take one of your blocks. We're coming into legs up the wall. So maybe taking one of your blocks, and as you lie back, just placing that block underneath your sacrum, just underneath your tailbone. And then sending your feet up towards the sky. You can point and flex. You can rotate your ankles. It's so important to get our hips above our heart. But if that's not comfortable for you or it's not recommended, you can always just come to a supported bridge. Either using the blocks or a bolster, whatever feels best for you. Always follow your doctor's advice and your body's. Remember, this is always your body and your practice. It's not Simon Says, it's yoga. So wherever you are at this point, lower your feet to the floor and just lift up your hips and remove the block from underneath you and send your left leg long And on an exhale, just wrap your hands around your shin, just draw your right knee in and around your rib cage, or if it's more comfortable, just draw it in to whatever degree you can. So you might be here, you might be here. Not forcing. Yoga should never hurt. It helps to keep that left foot flexed, to keep that leg down on the floor. Take one more cycle of breath here. And then on your inhale, send your right leg long, flexing your right foot, and as you exhale, drawing your left knee in towards your chest or around your rib cage for half when you're moving on the other side. And again, wherever it's comfortable. Take another cycle of breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your right knee in, coming into full wind removing. Knees can be apart or together. Maybe you bring your forehead up to meet your knees. And then exhale to lower back down, extending your legs out long. Let your feet flop out to the side. Maybe you draw your arms away from your body. Palms can face up or down. Just take up space here. The hard work is done. Now it's time to take full rest, sinking into that ease. Nothing more for you to do, but allow gravity to hold you here without any effort on your part. Shavasana. And then beginning to wake up the body, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, rotating wrists and ankles. If it feels good, maybe you take a full body stretch, lengthening your arms, reaching fingertips away from toes, or maybe bending slightly at the elbows. And then if you like, on an exhale, rolling onto your favorite side, coming into the fetal position, taking a moment to reset here. And when you're ready, pressing back up into a comfortable seat. Eyes can remain closed, or you can keep a soft gaze, bringing hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for joining me today, sharing your practice, helping yourself to find that balance between effort and ease, and doing your best to carry that mindset with you off the mat, because that's where our real yoga practice begins. Bowing our heads to seal in our practice. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.